Hey, babe, I think we need to talk about your wiring diagrams.
Yeah, what about them?
Sometimes I feel like they're not very organized.
You know, I just tried to do this to help out. I start to feel like I'm not really appreciated around here.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. I just mean...
We go through this every time. I think I'm going to take my stuff and go.
Oh, no.
I'm going to need these.
I just mean...
Need that color,
it's really
that one.
important stuff.
I definitely need this thing.
Babe, don't do that.
Goodbye, madam.
Come on.
All right, we're back, right?
Back again.
All right, today we are going to be working on me and Emily's 1974 K10 Chevy pickup.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Killarney green and white. Okay. That's the green portion. That's the white portion for our colorblind subscribers.
Yeah.
It's a cool truck. We bought this thing about 6 years ago. It's the very first square body that we bought.
Yep.
And it's also the very first LS swap that we did way back then, okay?
Yep. It's like our baby.
Yeah. All right. We get a ton of questions about wiring a 2002 LS swap. They're not the same as a 2003, 2004, 2005. They are different, and that's the reason we're here today. We're gonna do one. We're gonna start one up, and we'll kind of get into the story of why we're doing it for the second time here in a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to the whiteboard and get going on it. All right.
Let's do it.
People probably thought the whiteboard was gone or something.
Oh, no.
It's been a while.
Haven't seen it for a bit.
Yeah. All right. So why are we doing a swap on this the second time? All right. We initially did it. We had a 2005 pickup.
Yeah.
Right.
Silverado.
Everything was fine. It had a lot of miles on it, but we ran across this 2002 6-liter in a Yukon, and it was really nice, low miles. And we wanted to do a few things that I wasn't happy with on it at the time, which was we didn't do air conditioning because it's got an EGR valve, and what else was it? Oh, the exhaust.
Yeah.
So I tore it apart to do the exhaust and then do the air conditioning on it. So over the years, we've learned a ton about this stuff since we did this one. This one has been sitting for over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Every time somebody asks me a question about a 2002, I would go look at a wiring diagram, and then I'd run out and lift the hood on this truck and then use it as a guinea pig, you know, pinpoint stuff just to confirm what I was looking at for them. So
yep.
So we've never plugged this wiring in, and I've redone some of the stuff. So basically we're starting from scratch, okay?
Yep.
And we'll just go through a 2002, wire it up, fire it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we'll also have to hook some power up to the transmission, but it doesn't have any exhaust on it. It doesn't have any coolant in it, so it's going to be loud, and we're not going to be able to run it very long. Okay?
Yeah, we can make some noise though.
Yeah. Just like we do normally, I come in here in the morning and I draw up these pictures.
Yeah.
So let's start with power, okay? Getting power into our interior fuse box, okay?
Okay.
So let's do our power. We'll just go that direction with it, and then we'll get out and wire up those two wires. And that's actually those two plus the fuel pump are the only two that it's going to need to start and run, except for this one, of course,
yeah.
Power. But so let's do power, then we'll do the rest. Okay. I don't know about the 99, but the 2000 all the way up to 2002, and I don't know how they cut the production date of them off, but 2002, 2003, the fuse box changed. So if you're not sure what you have, usually you can Google the part number on it, you know.
Yeah.
But if you've got large fuses like that, you've got this 2002 type of fuse box, okay?
Okay.
If your fuses are the rectangular square ones like that, Then you've got a 2003 on up into 2006, 7 possibly, depending on what it is, but same thing. You can Google the part number on it and see what you got, all right?
Yep.
All right. Like I said, basically nothing's been done to this now. I'm starting from scratch. I just cut everything, and I'm going to do it the way I do it now, not the way that I did it 6 years ago, which was not pretty.
Not your best work?
No. But that's how you learn, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Lug number 2 on this box. It's the same as the other box that we worked with. It's protected by that 30 amp fuse right there.
Okay.
A 30 amp fuse would be fine to supply power into the interior fuse box on this truck. This truck, even in 74, it had a fusible link down on the starter that come up and it went to that lug over there.
Yes.
And it also went to the alternator, but it would get its power off of that lug, and it was protected by the fusible link that was on the starter, at the starter, or I even see a fusible link poking out right there.
Fusible link.
Okay, and it might have been that one. I'm not sure about the 74, because the 74 was a little bit different than the 85s and the 86s that we've been doing.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of 80s lately.
Yeah. So this wire doesn't, it's only got one red wire that goes into the interior fuse box, okay? And I'll also call that the bulkhead connector, just so you know. I like to call things by the wrong name.
Yeah. It'd give it like 6 names. Really confuse people.
There are some people out there that make a fortune by calling automotive parts by the wrong name. You know? If I do it,
people yell at us.
I get yelled at.
Yeah.
That's my rant for the day.
May or may not make the video.
Don't think so?
I don't know.
It's all in fun.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Somebody asked me just last week, why do you leave your wires so long? I come in afterwards and I clean everything up once everything is up and running, okay? But it doesn't mean like the first time that I'm not gonna at least do a nice job and cover the wire up.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance that maybe I won't have to redo this wire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just do it now.
There's also a chance, like the 70, that it'll just be like this forever.
That's very possible. Since it's our vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a deadline, so.
Right. We'll get it running. This truck, though, I've decided that we're gonna make time for this truck.
Yeah, we've been scheming on some really cool stuff.
Get it going. We're gonna. Oh, well, my other issue was the fan. I have to move the engine back in it. You can see that the engine is sitting too far forward.
Yeah.
I did not have the ability back then to shorten the drive shaft. We'll have to shorten the drive shaft and then possibly have a longer drive shaft made for the front. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So there's my power that's protected by that one, that fuse. It's going to supply power to my interior fuse box.
Sweet.
Now, the rest of the wiring that we've done, let's go over that, okay?
Okay.
So, this is a stock harness, okay? And I'll just talk about the grounds for now. The battery ground, it has got I moved the battery over here on the 74. It used to be over there, but I'm putting it here now. So for ground, it's going to have it's large. I think that's number 2 wire, and it goes down to the engine block. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And on that, there's also another ground that pops out of that wire harness, and it goes to the same spot. Okay, so that original ground down there, it has 2 ground wires going to it.
Okay.
Okay, so of course that one grounds to the battery. This one that comes off of it will go to our ground up here on the radiator support.
Yep.
It already has a ground going from the right side radiator support down to the frame. Okay, to tie those together. Okay, on the back of the engine block, there's a ground. It's the ground for the coils and the injectors. Okay, and it's on the back of the valley cover.
Oh yeah.
Okay, on the very back of the engine block. People forget that one sometimes if they have that all apart. Make sure that ground is tight. And then this is the ground that comes from the Yukon. It goes to the left side cylinder head on the back, and it ties to the firewall. And make sure you have a good connection there, okay?
Yeah. Knock some rust off first.
Yep. So those are the grounds you need, and they're all just a part of the original harness, okay?
Yep.
If you were doing a harness if you purchase one from somebody, then it'll be pretty straightforward what'll have to be grounded. But we were helping somebody out last week get one started, and the main large ground wire, they had that going to the frame. And you wouldn't want that, because then when you're starting it, all your power is passing through a smaller ground, and if it was too small of a ground, that's where you end up creating fires.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
not what you want.
Right. All right. We've got our positive going then to the interior of the truck.
Okay.
Right. So back to the whiteboard. All right. So in true General Motors fashion, even back in 1974, the wire that went down to the starter solenoid was purple. All right.
Okay.
And we're not going to run it down to the starter solenoid. We're going to run it to position F11 and connector number 2. And I can't remember what color those are.
I believe it's yellow.
Yellow. We should have wrote that down.
I had it
Yellow.
here at one point, and I erased it.
But in that connector, it's a yellow wire, and they are small wires. Let's go over and look at it, because the 2002, it does not pass through the PCM to crank that thing. On the 2003, you have to have your ignition wire hot in order for it to crank, but not on this truck. We could take and just connect that and put a battery to it, and it will crank over. That's one of the differences between the two different years, okay?
Yeah, it's a pretty big difference.
Yep. So,
Connector 2, F11.
oh, I can get rid of my pointer. Let's see. All right, so connector number 2, F is going to be on the top, and 11 is going to be that one. So it's a tiny little yellow wire, and so that is the one that we are going to run our, what do we want, starter wire, purple one?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the purple wire that went down to the starter solenoid. Now it is going to go to connector number 2, F11. Usually come right on there.
Can you push on it on the other end?
There it goes. So that one. We're just going to find another wire. Oh, okay. So connector number 4 had a pretty nice sized yellow wire. We'll stick with yellow, you know, just in case I have to. Did it go? Right? Got it.
Good job.
So, see how tiny that wire is? That's probably a 20, 24,
Yeah.
24 gauge wire that they're using to go to their what would be the pin 86 on a relay to crank the engine over. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't have to have ignition on in order to do it. It just needs battery power. I'm not sure why they changed that. The other question we get, why don't I just take and not use a butt connector?
You said butt.
And just repin this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Somebody asked about that the other day.
Yeah. We do that when we're cleaning them up.
Do.
Okay. But if you're going to do that, you had better make sure that you are using the General Motors part number for that thing.
Yeah.
If you put one of those in that's not the same quality as what this thing is, and you have a pin that doesn't make contact in there the way it's supposed to, you'll be chasing wiring problems like crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't do that when we do the videos, because I don't want people to freak out and not go swap their vehicles. It's like baby steps. You know?
And these are free. They come with the donor. These pins.
Oh, the wires?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the pins are.
It's a little more user friendly.
And the butt connectors and the heat shrink, it's relatively inexpensive. And I also know that when we do it this way, that it works and it's correct.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to go back in later on for me and make it look nice, you know? Alright, so if I put a battery in it right now and went and I hit the key, the engine would crank over.
Sweet.
Okay? Next wire.
Next one.
The ignition wire on the 74, okay? That's your firewall basically. Your ignition is going to supply power out to the ignition 1 relay basically on that fuse box.
Yep.
On a 1974, they did not have high energy ignitions or resistor coils, so this wire was a resistor wire that came out of the bulkhead that went to the ignition coil.
Yeah.
Positive side of the ignition coil.
That's another question that we've had a few times.
So when we bought this truck, it had already been converted over to high energy ignition on it, a small block Chevy. And so somebody had gone in and they replaced the wire from the bulkhead to the coil with a green wire.
Okay.
According to the wiring diagram, it was originally purple with a black tracer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if it was a straight 6 motor, it had a different resistance wire in it versus the different resistance for a V8 motor, which I'm not sure why they did that, but the wiring diagram shows 2 different resistor wires.
Huh.
But they're both the same color, no matter what. And honestly, this in this case, you're turning on the ignition 1 relay, but it's also supplying power to the oxygen sensors before it gets to the relay. So in this case, it would be very important that not be a resistor wire. On the later ones that we've done, the 2003s on up, that wire just turns on a relay, and even if you had the resistor wire in there still, it would still turn the relay on.
Yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't take that much juice to turn a relay on. But in this case, very, very important that it does not have a resistor wire.
Okay.
Okay, because your ignition coils and your O2 sensors would definitely not be working up to snuff.
Yeah.
So let's go work on that one. We're going to take that wire and it's going to go to connector 1, position A9. Connector 1. Connector 1 is white, just like in the 2000 on up. That's why they're so confusing, because they all look the same. So what did we say? It's connector 1, A9. All right, so A, first row, 9 over. On this one, it's a large pink wire. That's what it's supposed to be, according to the wiring diagram. These are the rest of the wires. That most of the orange ones in there will be hot at all times. The pinks, most all pink wires in these looms would be key on and run position, hot. Okay, but out of this whole thing to start this is the one wire we need. Okay, and, this is the green wire that they put in at some point. Somebody did it for us.
Yeah.
It's nice of them.
Ooh, they're even the same size.
The green one's a little smaller. Yeah, I think they're all the same. Uh-oh, we flipped that one. So there's the wire that comes out of the bulkhead from the inside the truck. It's going to fire up the ignition 1 relay, which supplies power to the ECM, and it also supplies power to a few other things that are protected by a fuse, but they're not anything that run much. O2 sensor might have like a 10 amp fuse, 20 amp fuses.
I think they're 10 amp for some reason.
Oh, my box fell in.
I know.
Now, so at this point, if we had fuel, it would start.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Yeah. So we're at the point where we have these 3 wires connected, okay? With those 3 wires connected, the engine would crank over and the ECM is fired up, okay? The only thing we don't have is fuel pressure, so we got to work on getting some fuel pressure going to it next, okay?
Ooh, yes.
So let's change our picture. So we need to get some fuel pressure going to this thing, all right? We're going to basically run our fuel line, or the wiring for the fuel pump that I ran. We're going to run it and connect it to F1 and connector 3, which is a gray wire. I also, when I wired the fuel pump up, it originally has a body ground back by the fuel pump, but I also add another one to it and I run it all the way up, and I ground it out at the radiator support with the other large battery ground, okay? So there's no reason why not to have make sure you have a good ground for your fuel pump.
Yep.
So let's do that. We'll go find that wire that I ran and F1 connector 3. Connector number 3. It's red. The gray wire, F1, position F1, and connector 3, like I said, all right? So that's the only one that we'll need out of there. While you weren't looking, I pulled all the connectors out of connector number 1. So I didn't want people to think we were fibbing by saying it only takes 4 wires.
Yeah.
Somebody on Hot at All Times sent a comment that said 3 wires, my... ... Yeah.
Yeah, family friendly.
Family friendly.
We gotta keep it family friendly.
Yeah. 3 wires, my butt, basically.
Yes.
But that's not exactly what he said. All right, I ran a yellow wire down to my fuel pump. That's my power wire going to it. This is the ground that I added, and but we'll go yellow to gray. and then we can fire this thing up.
Sweet.
It takes a lot of other wires to make everything else work, but not just to get it to run and drive. If you were doing a really basic motor swap, that would be it.
Yeah.
I don't think I put a big enough heat shrink on it. I'll get a piece over there. All right, let's plug this thing in. There we go. We have fuel, or we should have fuel pressure after I do my ground. All right, so we'll do the ground. We'll do the ground when we do all the grounds.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I still got to hook this one up.
Oh yeah.
So we'll do all the grounds at one time, and that way we can keep going here.
Okay.
All right, so just like in a 2003 or 2004, right now, the way things are, there's no power going down to the transmission solenoids. The original truck, it got power to the transmission through the interior fuse box, which we don't have anymore. So the way they did it, they ran power into E2 on connector 2, and it passed through the box, not through a fuse or anything. It was just a connection, and it would go to F2, and there's two wires actually, but if you look in a wiring diagram, it doesn't show the two wires, but it does branch off into two different spots. You just have to look at a few different wiring diagrams to figure that out.
Yeah.
One of them goes to the transmission solenoids, and one of the wires goes to the PCM for the transmission portion of it. Okay?
Okay.
So, like I said, we don't have power there anymore, so we are going to take the pin out of F2, and we are going to get rid of E8, which used to go to the rear O2 sensors, and we're going to put it in that one. Okay? So
Okay.
it's protected by a 15 amp fuse. If you were doing a vehicle that you had to use the rear O2 sensors, then you would just have to find another pink or hot and run and start wire. Okay?
Yeah.
Which there's quite a few of them in there, and it doesn't take a bunch of power to run the solenoids in that PCM, so you don't have to worry about like overloading a circuit or something like that.
Okay.
All right, so let's go do that in connector 2. Oh yeah, also, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but if you're reading wiring diagrams for the first time, when you come across something that is underlined, that is the connector, okay?
Yes.
And everything to the left of it is the pin position in that connector. So if you're booking along here and then all of a sudden you see C1 with an underline, then it switches to whatever's to the left of it is going to be the pin position in connector 1.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So keep an eye on exactly which connector you're looking at.
Yeah, so connector 2, all those pins are in connector 2. All right?
Sweet.
So we're going to go find F2 and put it in E8.
Okay.
So F2, let's just find that one first. And so F, the top row, second one down, and it has two pink wires going into it. So that's the one we want. Oh. So that's that one.
Okay.
And then we got to go to E8, right?
E8.
So E is going to be down one. And it'll be two wires because it went to both rear O2 sensors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And E right there. So two pink wires.
Okay.
Pull that out. Okay. So pull that out. Don't need those pesky O2 sensors anymore.
Yeah.
And then put F2 in there. So there you have it. We're going to have power at our transmission
Sweet.
and DCM. So that is absolutely everything on this that you need to do to make this truck run and drive.
What about our grounds?
Yeah, we got to do the grounds next.
Yeah.
So we got to add this ground, and then we're going to add this ground also to come over and be my ground for my fuel pump and a lot of other things when I'm done here.
Okay.
But we're going to
Should we put anti-seize on that?
yeah, I cleaned it up. And, that's the other thing too, these trucks, make sure you got a good ground. I go and I clean all my grounds.
Yeah. Even on the harness, cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah, I put some anti-seize on it because it come out kind of tough. What do I do with that wire? Got that. Okay. Oops. Need my piercing washer. Oh. So there you go. There's the one that comes off the battery. For the positive leads, all I really had to do was run this one to there to power up my fuse box. The other end is down on the starter.
Oh yeah.
And then this would go to the alternator, of course, but that's the only power leads that go to anything, except for the junction box, you know. But that's just a connection between there and the starter. So we got one more wire. We'll hook up our ground for our fuel pump. I'm not going to heat shrink it because it's a ground, and I know I'm going to redo this one.
Yeah, this one always gets done a few times.
There we go. Okay, so with that one done, we'll have power going to our fuel pump. Now, all we need is a battery.
Where are we gonna get one of those?
Did you buy a battery?
What, like a AA, AAA?
9 volt. I say 9 volt, but that's no joke. Most of our batteries are 9 volts. Especially after as cold as it's been. Every time we go and start something up, batteries got 7 to 9 volts in it.
Yeah, our jump pack has gotten a good workout lately.
Or topped on.
Topped on.
That thing is awesome.
It really is.
Alright, so I'm gonna hook the negative up. And this is where, you know, you don't want sparks. Right? Hey, no sparks.
Hey. Should we look at the interior of the truck? Make sure it's not
on fire? The puff of smoke comes out the window like on the 76.
Yeah, the 76 may be in a video soon. Be kind of fun to figure out why it suddenly decides to turn into a smoke bomb.
Okay, so like I said, we don't have exhaust and there's no coolant in it. When I get done doing this, I'm going to probably end up tearing the engine out of it. So,
yeah, we're going to move the engine, so...
Yeah, so I'm not going to go through the trouble of doing that. So we'll fire it up the way it is. I'll cycle the key a couple times to see if we get some fuel pressure built up.
Okay.
Okay. Watch for fuel squirting.
Yeah.
Anywhere, you know, or...
Yeah, now's a good time to check for leaks.
Yeah.
Before you start it.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Anything out?
No. No.
Nothing?
Nothing. Fuel pump's not doing anything and nothing's powering up. Nothing's clicking.
Okay. Very interesting. Oh. Oh, goodness. I can't believe that. Probably just made the biggest mistake of anything.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Oh.
So, I forget things. I forgot the most important thing.
It's kind of the whole thing.
Yep. This ECM for it, we sent it out. Bats was removed from it. All the emissions we don't use were removed. I did not know. That was part of my problem. Was I didn't know that you could make a 2002 run an electric fan.
Oh yeah.
But this will run an electric fan because they didn't have electric fans back then. But it will run it. I just got to have the programmer guy do it.
Yep. Turn it on.
Which it is. So, but it would have never ran without this computer. I kept thinking the whole time I got to remember to put the computer on. Okay. Okay.
That's a good spot.
I bet you we'll have fuel pressure now.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you ready?
Okay. Oh. Uh-oh. I think something's leaking up here.
Huh? You got a leak?
I don't know, it sounds weird. I don't know if,
Those just make noise.
if it's just going through the
Regulator.
with the regulator there. Okay.
Yep.
Alright. Sounded weird. Okay.
What's it up to?
Like 56, 57-ish.
Yep.
That works better.
Yeah. While we're plugging stuff in, let's plug the accelerator cable in, or pedal in, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
It's the fun part.
This isn't where it's going to get mounted. Okay. So, fire it up.
Let's do it.
Alright, should we cheers?
Yes. First start number 2.
Okay, cheers.
Let's do it.
Wish me luck. Ready?
Yep. Juice says we should put exhaust on it.
Yeah, it needs exhaust.
Ooh.
Alright, well that's all I'm going to do to it without water in it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So.
And a bunch of other stuff, so.
Right. Alright, success.
Yay!
So, 4 wires, right?
That's all it takes.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go.
Okay. Alright, so 2002, okay? Make sure whatever you're working with, you look at that and you double check what year and make and model and everything because it can be different, alright?
Yep. That can cause you some real headaches when you get down to it and try to start it and nothing happens or the wrong thing happens or...
Yeah, it can be a big problem, especially if you don't plug the computer and that's an issue.
Yeah, that doesn't work very good.
Right. This pickup is actually ours, so we're going to do a lot of things to it that I've always wanted to do. I'm going to put what I've always wanted to do for exhaust on it. We're going to mount the computer, the ECM, behind the seat.
Yes.
The tack box, it's going to go back there too, so we're going to clean up the engine compartment a bunch that way.
Yep.
I also am going to do just some improvements to what I didn't do before, you know. So electric fans, move the engine back a little bit, and make it a really nice truck.
Yep, like we said, we've learned a lot since we originally swapped this truck, and because it's ours, we are able to do things a little differently than we would for somebody else. So, really excited about that. Do some different stuff.
Yep, so it's going to be the year of wiring.
Yes.
So we did a 2002, and now we're going to get into some Gen 4 stuff. So tune in for that, okay?
Yep, we got a teardown coming up on that. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. As always, we hope this one helps you out. If you do have questions, let us know in the comments down below. We appreciate you guys watching, and we will catch you next time.
All right, so what do we need to talk about?
Wires.
Wires. Okay. I ran a yellow wire down to my starter.
Fuel pump.
Oh, down to my, I ran a gray wire down to my fuel pump.
Yellow wire.
Huh?
Yellow wire.
Oh.
Ow, hang on, I'm gonna cramp.
Don't be in camera though, okay? Because people don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people think you're the thing from you, and then you smell it.
Yeah. She is kind of smelly.
Maybe we could get goldfish or something like that, and just put a bowl of goldfish behind us.
So we could take them with us on test drive. We could put them in a cup and put them in the cup holder. Come here, Dad.
Okay, gotta go. I'll give you a treat when we're done. Go.